Nice to know that you all are here with me. We're just going to play with some of the energies here today. I'm going to make sure that I have things set up. Beautiful. That's beautiful. All right. My name's Annie, Reverend Annie Batchelder. I'm an Akashic channel. I do readings and weddings and classes, and I wrote a book. Actually, I channeled a book, Bringing Forth Soul Consciousness. And it's gaining in popularity, thank goodness. And I'm so glad to announce, by the way, that it's out in as an audiobook. So I'm going to just go ahead and post the links to the audiobook. It's on Amazon, or excuse me, it's on Apple Books and Kobo. These are some names I have never heard. Apple Books, Kobo, and Storytel. And I'm just going to post these in a little thing on Facebook here. I'm not sure that was the right thing. That's no, that's not what I want to post. It's hard to do all this myself. I wonder if Marco's here. He's not here, is he, today? Well, anyway, let me get that link up for you because that's important to everything that I'm doing right now. All right. Copy. There we go. That's more like it. All right. This is great. So you can get this book, Bringing Forth Soul Consciousness, an Akashic Records Guide to Living a Fulfilled Life. Now, this book teaches you how to open your Akashic Records. And the reason I like that is because the Akashic Records, good morning, Marco. The Akashic Records are the soul level plane of consciousness that has recorded everything that any soul at any time throughout time in any lifetime and in between um, is has said, thought, or done. So here we are. That's why what we think about is easiest to manifest. So even if I'm thinking about what I don't want, that's probably more likely to manifest than the stuff I'm thinking about that I do want, because I think more about what I have to protect myself against and then what it is I really want to create. So being able to work in your Akashic records gains you access to a field of consciousness that is free of judgment, resistance, and fear. Good morning, Sana Marie Wicks. My favorite folks. So the being in the Akashic Records gives you access to a space that is pure and it's filled with love. It's very non-judgmental, and it's a great place to research things and also to let go of stuff. It just can kind of evaporate off of you. It's amazing what you can do in your records if you so choose. And it's a great place to go in and go, okay, what's the truth about me? And whatever my issue is, that my issues are personal to me. And the more I'm in my personality, the less receptive I am to learning the truth about me and whatever my issue is. One of the things that I did at one point when I was doing a share reading, swapping readings with someone who was also an Akashic Records student at the time, was I asked, what's the truth about me and butter? And I was amazed. I mean, I broke down in tears as soon as the question came out of my mouth. And it came through that when I was in a past life, I was an orphaned girl, about maybe 8, 10 years old, maybe. And all that I had in the world was a white dress and a cow. And that cow was everything to me. She provided milk, butter, cheese, warmth on cold nights. It she provided a certain kind of safety, a belongingness. It wasn't so alone because of this cow. And I loved butter. I just loved butter. And it was one of my pleasures to eat it. And so that has carried over into this lifetime. So butter is one of my pleasures to eat. And I have kind of a thing for it. And it was so amazing to see that past life. And that's something that came through in the Akashic Records. And it came through so clearly, like a whole movie. It was so defined. It was in color. I could see the villagers that I went around to bring my cow to so I could give them some milk for the day or whatever. It, it was really remarkable to get that clarity. And it lifted a lot of the judgment that I had about myself and the way I like butter and how I can eat it like cheese, plain by itself, no bread, no nothing. Um, the shame and the judgment I had about it. And it just made me feel far more comfortable in who I am and what my proclivities are anyway. So, anyway, today, I'm reading in my book, chapter 11, The Spiritual Heart. I'm going to be with some people who are studying the book. The woman who did the cover art and the layout of the interior and made it look so nice. She's leading a book study. You probably saw me advertise it on Facebook. And we're going to be working on the chapter 11 today, the spiritual heart. And so I was reading that chapter again, and there's just so much useful information in here that makes me feel good. As I said, the Akashic Records are a space of no judgment, no resistance, and no fear. So it makes them a very, very safe space to look into things. And then here's a quote from that chapter, from chapter 11. As a point of functionality, activating your spiritual heart immediately releases you from attachment to your personal agenda, grants you the objectivity needed in the moment to navigate potentially treacherous emotional waters, and lifts your spirits. Steeped in acceptance, it causes you to be in the flow. You naturally move from a state you naturally move into a state of harmony each time you activate your spiritual heart. The spiritual heart is kind of complex, and it's involved in a lot of transmission and reception of energy and information. The spiritual heart is, well, basically you start with your human heart, your body heart that pumps blood throughout your body, and it's roughly the size of the fist here, slightly to the left of the center of the chest. And then you probably are familiar with your heart chakra, and that's a little more energetic. It's in your energetic field, and it can extend from 10 to 20, maybe up to 40 feet in diameter, or extend outward into your field of energy. And then there's the spiritual heart. And it's centered again in the same section of the body, the trunk of the body, upper chest especially. And the spiritual heart can extend essentially in an unlimited fashion. It can become so big. You can radiate it and bring it in if it's too much, but you can also stretch it out, relax into the spiritual heart, and have it be as big as it needs to be at that moment. And my hands are just tingling with what the energy of that. It feels so good. I mean, heart energy, love energy, this is what we're really hungry for, right? This is what we receive when we are simply an embryo, or a multi-celled being in the uterus as we're developing. It's the first energy we sense, and it's the way that we transmit love and receive love. And especially if you're channeling, or you're sending out a spiritual message to someone or a group, or you're trying to emit love and peace on the planet and add to that energy that's around the planet to soften the impacts of war and devastation and some of the horrors that we see here on Earth Light. If you're in your spiritual heart, you can make it as compact or as expansive as you need, and it eases things. It eases life. It eases the impact of things. And like the quote said, it can release me from my personal agenda if I've gotten it, I'm not going to have it be this way. Or good morning, Sarah Langla. How are you? What a wonderful thing that you are here. One of my high school chums. Good morning. So the spiritual heart can really affect the environment. And so as you're sitting here now, you're probably listening to this, and you may notice that your heart center, or what you consider your heart center, or even your general energy, is more expansive, is bigger, more fluid, and softer, and more receptive when you're thinking about your spiritual heart, or when you focus on that. That's one of the things I like most about the spiritual heart, is you can just be in that, and it's really like a sacred space, and what better place to find self-love and self-appreciation and comfort. It's a wonderful escape from my mind that is so busy. The dialogue is nonstop. My mind is just this, like, the assessment, evaluation, judgment machine. It's always on, always on, always on, always comparing, always managing. It's got a dialogue going on, 24/7. And so when I'm in my spiritual heart, that sort of recedes to the background and becomes a lot softer and a lot more remote. So that's chapter 11 of my book, Bringing Forth Soul Consciousness. And it's out on audiobook now. It's on Apple Books, Kobo, and Storytel. Storytel's a Swedish platform. So if you go there, you might have to switch the language back into English so that you understand what's being shown you on the website. And but if you have an app, if you have Apple Books, you can get it there. And more platforms will be showing up soon, and it's sort of peeling the layers. So let's see, what are we going to do energetically today? I want to choose a couple of cards from the DNA activation cards. I like these. These are by a woman named, a woman named Jean Adrienne. I'm going to show those to you. DNA activation cards. And I think they're effective for reminding us who we are before we are our personalities. You know, we chose these bodies and these personalities because they're most suited to getting our souls functioning done, getting our souls purposes out in the world. And when we're operating from our spiritual heart or our soul self and from the higher purpose of our mission here that we have agreed to do, there's a lot better results. And I think adding these missing DNA strands into our experience of our personalities and our bodies is a really good idea. So I'm drawn to draw 2 cards for this day. Excuse me. This is the first one. And what I always teach everyone is that our soul chakra is the 8th chakra, about a foot above our head, and it's a beautiful ball of light, beautiful ball of light. And there's a space between the crown chakra and the soul chakra. That space in between the soul chakra and the crown chakra is very useful. You can take things out, perhaps a bad memory or a moment of embarrassment that just doesn't seem to want to go away. You can take things out from there, or you can put things in. And one of the things I recommend is that we insert certain DNA strands and reacquire them there. And these DNA strands are all soul level qualities that can be reacquired. And just let this symbol kind of travel around the body and settle and mingle and be where it needs to be and change the energy where it goes. It's quite potent as you allow this card with the symbol on the outside representing a missing DNA strand to be delivered throughout your body. Wherever you need it, that's where it goes. All the way down the legs, into the feet, and into the center point, the balance point of Mother Earth. This card is the blending card. It is through this activation that you are able to share your insights and abilities with others without compromising your own integrity. Blending DNA strand. It is through this activation that you are able to share your insights and abilities with others without compromising your own integrity. Isn't that the way it should work? Yeah, exactly. Just feel that added DNA strand how it settles in your body and allows you to be a little bit more potent, and energized, and effective in this world. And this is a message that carries throughout the week, is what the guides are telling me. So this second card, let's just bring that into that space between the soul chakra and the crown chakra, and let that become part of that space, and then move throughout the body wherever it needs to be. Let that go into your brain function, into your eyes, into your jaw and your neck, your skull, your shoulders. Let this particular symbol move throughout your body, even out the arms, between the shoulder blades, into the heart chakra, the spiritual heart chakra. Wow. When you mix it with the spiritual heart chakra, that's quite something. The energy gets very potent and very tingly. And have that symbol travel throughout the trunk of your body, all throughout the digestive system and your organs. Is there a major organ that needs more oomph? Uh-huh. Yeah. Let it travel down to the lower trunk of the body, the genitals, the thighs, knees, calves, feet. Yeah. And let that ground into the center point of Mother Earth. So this card is the emergence card. Emergence. This activation represents your emergence into the fullness of your light. That's good. Doesn't that sound? I mean, it's so hopeful, isn't it? Like, we might as well give ourselves good predictions, right? This activation represents your emergence into the fullness of your light. And this activation is good for the rest of your life. So not just for the rest of the week. That is really wonderful. There we go. Just notice if there are any places where you're rather unwilling to emerge into the fullness of your light. Any fear? Good morning, Christine Tran. It's lovely to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Good timing. I love it when people say hello when they get here. It makes me feel wonderful. You know, I've been doing this for, I don't know, 5, 6 something years. And it's a way of connecting with you, and also a way of giving to you. So from my gifts, you know, it's important that I give my gifts to the world and to whoever's receptive, and to be of use to you. And so this is one of the ways of doing that. So let's see. By the power of divine light within us, come, Holy Spirit, Spirit of light, Spirit of truth, for the highest good of all throughout time, fill our hearts with divine love. It feels as if I'm supposed to look up another quote for you regarding the spiritual heart. The spiritual heart functions within the human as the receiver and transmitter for the soul's light, and the soul's guidance. This is all channeled material in this book. This is my book, Bringing Forth Soul Consciousness, an Akashic Records Guide to Living a Fulfilled Life. And there should be a posting with the links where you can get the audiobook, which I recommend because there's a bunch of, as in like 13 energetic processes in here that you can do. And I think having it on an audiobook would be the best way to have that so that you can be in the experience and not having to be going back in and out of the reading it and then having the experience and reading it and having it, like that. But the spiritual heart functions within the human as the receiver and the transmitter of the soul's light, and the soul's guidance. So when you're in your spiritual heart, it means that you are actually available to your soul, and your soul is available to you in your daily life to give you guidance, to give you succor, to give you comfort. And it's for me, being in my soul's energy is like, oh, that's the way it's supposed to be. That's the organization, that's the order, that's the fulfillment of what I want, what I'm most interested in experiencing. And I find that incredibly helpful and useful. Yeah. So you can find the links to the book right below this live. And let me know when you get it. If you want to leave a review, I reward people for doing things like that. You can leave a review if you buy the book as a paperback on Amazon, or if you buy one of the audiobooks, leave a review and let me know about your review so that I can reward you with a one question voice memo channeled answer to your question. So within 12 hours of you sending me your one question, I will record a voice memo and email it back to you. And that's your bonus. That's a $28 value. I charge $28 for that. And that's a very reasonable way to get some of your needs met when you need a reading or you just need a good solid look-see at one particular issue. I really give, you get your money's worth in these things. It's hard. It's not necessarily a great business, the idea, but it's a great way of helping others and being useful to others and putting my gifts, talents, and abilities to work for you, which is really, that's where the satisfaction in life is for me. All right. I love you all. You are a gift to humanity in this world and the animals and the elements. And I thank you for being part of my life. Have a wonderful day. Great, 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 great day. Enjoy yourself.